Oh, hi there. Some Pokemon are ugly. And some people like to rip off Dookie Shed and the Nostalgia Critic. But, nonetheless, here are my top 12 what the fuck were they thinking Pokemon, aka the worst designed Pokemon. So, number 12 is Jinx. So for the ones that are too young to know about Jinx, back when the games first debuted, Jinx was in the game as having a black face, and a lot of complaints were brought up to attention of Game Freak that this represented the racial stereotype of blackface, people who paint their face black to mock black people. So Game Freak basically immediately realized this, and before the gold and silver games come out, they made sure to fix Jinx's face so it was now purple. But that still doesn't hide the fact that they made a racially insensitive Pokemon.
Kind of like Jar Jar Binks in the prequels.
Sure, whatever you have. But also, if you just look at the thing, it's like, what? What the hell is it designed off of? I think Nate Wants to Battle said best when he said it's designed off hookers? I mean, long blonde hair, friggin' dress with boob rings on it.
I always thought it was an opera singer.
Yeah, opera singer, hooker. There's not much real difference, but it's just one of those designs that I look at and I'm like, what? Seriously? Like, its typing is cool because Psychic was way too overpowered in Gen 1, but outside of those 3 games, it's just a really bad design. So, Jinx, yeah, I'm never gonna play with Jinx. Smoochum, though. Smoochum's a little bit adorable. Number 11, Licky. Now, there's enough hate to go around for Licky and Lickitung. Lickitun's only basis is a tongue. They took a tongue as a basis for a Pokemon. Now, honestly, that's weird, but Lickitung's almost passable. But then you get to 4th gen, which is with its brand new evolution, Licky. And for fuck's sake, Game Freak, what were you thinking? It doesn't look like an evolution. Frankly, it looks like a pre-evolution. All you did was you changed the color to be a shade darker. You made its tongue smaller. You made the one thing that made Lickitung unique smaller, so it's less unique. And you maybe changed its design a little bit, the lines on it, and like its face little features. What the hell? Seriously?
At least they didn't make its tongue a scarf.
There's a perfectly good explanation why Greninja's tongue is a scarf. Cut to explosions. I don't really have the reason. But no, frickin' Licky. And like, you're excited because Lickitung is a brand new evolution. What could it be? It could frickin' evolve into Gene Simmons. I mean, wouldn't that be the next logical place to go? Frickin' a Pokemon equivalent of Gene Simmons? How awesome would that be? Frickin' guitar, its tongue is over here. I mean, goddamn.
Dark type.
It could be a dark type. We could freaking wear face paint. No, you went with the fucking Licky spelled twice. Is that even a goddamn word? I know it's a variation of lick, but I don't know. Fucking Licky. Get the hell out of my face. Don't you dare lick me. Ah! God! Yeah. Yeah. Frickin' Licky. Number 10, Amongus. Now, I don't hate Amongus. I mean, sure, it's a mushroom, but the frickin' design, I mean, its head and hands are Pokeballs. Who in their right goddamn mind would think to take a mushroom, which there are millions of mushrooms that have really cool designs that you could go with, and they were like, let's just slap some fucking Pokeballs on this mushroom and call it a day. Like, okay, I can understand, like, maybe the top of its head being mushroom, because maybe it's a weird design and the Pokemon grew out of, like, moss near a Pokeball, and it was like, I don't know, it looked at the Pokeball and it was like, it changed itself somehow, but Amongus is freaking hands that look like shields colored in purple Pokeballs. Like, how does hands like this make sense? I don't know what I'm doing. But like, even Fungus, I don't know if they were just obsessed with this joke. There's a Fungus Among Us. A Fungus Among Us. I don't know if they were obsessed with the joke and they had to create Pokemon off it. But like Fungus you can get away with because it's just a mushroom. And it just happens to be its head designed like a Pokeball. But frickin' Amongus. Now everyone else seems to hate Amongus. I thought it was an interesting joke even in Gen 1 to think you're gonna get an item and wind up fighting a Pokemon. That's an interesting joke. I mean, they've run off that fucking multiple times now. Gen 1, Gen 3, Gen 5, no, Gen 4. Yeah, Amongus is Gen 4.
No, Amongus is Gen 5.
Whatever. Why are you listening to what I'm saying? No. Gen 5, go with my first line. But the joke runs itself out. I really don't want to see it again, but it's amusing the first couple times. And now it's just kind of looking at Amongus like, what the fuck? Who was high enough to make you? Who was smoking enough for that mushroom to think that? Satoru Tajiri, that's who. Number 9. Barnacle. Now, I don't know if it's something in Game Freak, but apparently they feel the need to make a Pokemon out of every single living creature on the planet. Which takes us to Barnacle. It's a Barnacle. What is a Barnacle? Well, apparently they live down on the sea and cling to shit. That's all they do. They're a little rock-like thing that just cling to shit. They don't even look like they have a life. Why would you make a Pokemon out of this thing? Why would you make a Pokemon out of something that barely you can call a life form? But that's just Barnacle. Then there's friggin' Barnacle. They took a Barnacle, which looked fine, as like passable as a fighting Barnacle, you know, with like arms, with claws. That's alright. I mean, where else are they going to go with a Barnacle? But then they decided to make it stand and have multiple arms, all the same Barnacle arms. It's like, huh? How is that evolution? Like, okay, you want to make a thing walk. Why just stick more arms on it? Like,
it's like when a Pokemon has fingers and then it evolves and suddenly it doesn't.
Sure. But then you get to the head. Like, this thing is way too over-designed. It's like, arm, like, fucking, its body is still a chunk of ice. Is it an ice type? Is it a rock type? I don't know what fucking type it is, because I don't care. And this thing looks fucking ugly. But then you get to the head. And the head is another arm. But without the actual arm. It's just the freaking claw hand with eyes. It's like, what the fuck was that guy's idea? You just go to the diner and like, I said give it some fucking hands! Just give it some fucking hands! I don't know. That's not my video, that's a video somebody else did. Fucking Barnacle. I've never wanted one, I never will want one. And I'll look at it and be like, what the fuck? Hence the name of this list. Number 8. cast form. Oh, what do I say about cast form? It's a normal type, so it's already generic typing, but what the fuck is it? Is it supposed to be like a rain cloud or something? I don't understand this Pokemon's design, because there barely is a design to go with. The only reason this Pokemon is created I can think of is because they had the cool idea of it changing with the weather, so its sun form, its rain form, its ice form are acceptable, but then you get to this thing, and it's freaking, it looks like it has balls right under its head. I mean, they're just like, here, now I'm a cast form, huh? Now I can make it rain. Fucking, it's not a good looking Pokemon. And what annoys me most, it has a role to play in the main story of Gen 3. Like, you can't avoid the plot of having to go in the Weather Institute and fight Team Magma or Aqua, or Team Aqua, whatever you want to call them. Fight, and you get a cast form at the end of it. And I look at this thing and I'm like, why would I ever use this fucking thing? I don't care about weather unless I'm going to use Mega Rayquaza, which blows all the fucking weather away, so that eliminates any usefulness cast form has. I can't think of a good move it has that really, its moveset is like nondescript, except for one, like, probably one move, I think Weather Ball?
Yes.
Something like that. Don't care about Weather Ball. Don't care about this Pokemon. It looks fucking ugly, in my opinion. These are just my opinions. Number 7. Voltorb and Electrode. Now, Voltorb and Electrode are okay as Pokemon, but there's no fucking design to this thing at all. I mean, all they did was take a Pokeball, something designed to catch this thing, and was like, oh, let's put some fucking eyes on it and call it a Pokemon. I mean, you can... Some Pokedex entries say it got hit by a bolt of lightning from probably some random Pokemon battle, and it became alive, kind of like Frankenstein. But I'm not willing to buy it just to deal with this fucking thing exploding all over my team and ending a Nuzlocke. These things are Nuzlocke killers, especially if you're not ready for explosion or self-destruct. And then there's Electrode, which is just that. They literally just took the Pokeball, flipped it upside down, flipped the eyes upside down, gave it a different expression. We're like, oh, it's a new fucking Pokemon. How the hell does a Pokeball evolve? How is a Pokeball supposed to be a living thing?
They could have made it a Great Ball or an Ultra Ball.
Fuck, I'd even take a Master Ball over this thing. Because at least that thing can catch anything. This thing can barely catch a level 2 Pidgey. And it can't even fucking open. So, audience, I catch you. Number 6. Diggersby. Now, Bunnelby is kind of a cute rabbit. I can give it, it has a cuteness factor. And then it evolves into, what the fucking bunny? What the bugs rabbit were they thinking here? I mean, it has a goddamn beard. It has like a fucking beer belly out of fur. I don't know what the hell the thing is. It has ears fucking as long as its arms. And probably could use its ears like fucking arms. Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Can you throw them over your shoulder like a continental shoulder? Do your ears hang low? That's all I can think of when I think of Diggersby is the goddamn long ears. And that, like, that fucking facial expression. It's just like constantly pleased with itself. It's like, fucking, it looks like a guy on 420 who just enjoyed himself a bit too much. All I could say. I don't know about this thing. I really just want to be like, Diggersby, fuck away. Get in the way. I don't care how strong you might be. It is strong. It's actually a decent battler, which is more annoying than anything. Having an ugly Pokemon be a good battler, it's just like, I'm gonna have to constantly see people using this thing. I'm just like, fuck, why are you using a Diggersby? It's so fucking ugly. It's number 6. Trust me, there are uglier ones. Number 5, Mr. Mime. I look at this Pokemon and it's just like, what the fuck? It's based off a mime. You know, those guys that stand out on the street all day and make no noise and just like pretend like they're in a box or they're being pulled by a rope. Or who wants a Pokemon based off a fucking mime? And I know it's Gen 1 and they probably thought it was the best idea, but how does it look like a mime other than it's doing this and it has the white face paint commonly associated with a mime? I mean, it doesn't look good. Friggin', like, I could do this thing all day and probably look better than Mr. Mime. And I'm probably horrible at this. But it's like, oh, I'm trapped in a goddamn box. Except I can't be quiet for all day like mimes can.
They should give it an evolution that's either Psychic Ghost or Psychic Dark and make it a Monster Clown.
That'd be interesting. But I guess it is kind of based off clown if you think about it. Kind of looks more like a clown than a mime. I mean, all you need to give it is a frickin' foam red nose and and maybe it'd be a better Pokemon. But also,
why so serious?
But also, what's with the name Mr. Mime when the gender ratio is about 50-50? I mean, you could have a female Mr. Mime. How does that make sense?
In the Japanese version, it's it doesn't have a gender based name.
There's a difference between translation errors. I'm still just commenting on the American thing. That said, there's one on this list that actually takes the Japanese element into its horrible design. But we'll get to that later. For now, fucking Mr. Mime. If it weren't for Gen 1 having Psychic be so overpowered, I don't think anyone would ever use this. Mime Jr., give it an Everstone. It's cute enough on its own. A lot of baby Pokemon are just way too cute to be on a horrible design list.
Looks like it has blue ice cream on its head.
It's cute enough. Mr. Mime is like, holy fuck, get that thing away from me! It's number 5. Number 4, Probopass. Hey y'all, remember when Gen 4 introduced this really interesting looking rock type? It was named Nosepass. What was it designed off? A Easter Island head. And it was cool because it was in the first gym and it was something different, something you weren't expecting if you weren't looking up info on Pokemon games when you were a kid and you were just playing them like this guy. But it was cool. It was a cool wall for Gym 1 Pokemon. But then came the next gen when they decided it needed to evolve into this fucking thing. I hope there's a picture right there. But I look at this thing and some people get angry. I'm like, what the fuck? You did not need to evolve an Easter Island head. Easter Island heads can just stay Easter Island heads. And then you fucking gave it magnetism. I do not believe an Easter Island head on its own is magnetic. They may affect the magnetic poles somehow of the Earth, but they should not be magnetic on their own. And then you went and frickin' highlighted the weirdest thing that gave Nosepass its name. Its nose. You went and turned the fucking thing red, gave the thing a mustache made out of magnetic filings that just attract to the thing. Why? Why does it need a fucking mustache? You don't need to evolve a nose-based Pokemon into a thing with a mustache under its nose. It just looks horrible. What the fuck are with the things on its sides? You took away Nosepass's arms, like something vital for function, standard function. You need arms to grab things, to put things in here. And then you fucking took away its arms and gave it little hovering, whatever the fuck you want to call them. They don't even look like fucking life forms. And you gave it essentially what appears to be a Russian hat. Like friggin' magnet. I guess they could be magnetic filings on its head, but like, what the fuck were you thinking, Game Freak? What?
Actually, about that hat, there have been studies that historical studies that determined that it may have the Easter Island heads may have actually looked somewhat like that with those hat things before they eroded away.
I don't know, make it a pre-evolution then. I don't really want... And the way you evolve it annoys me. Because you have to go... In every game it's different. They can't keep consistent. In its original game you had to go to Mount Coronet to evolve it, which is okay. You had to do the same thing to get a Magnezone. I'm willing to do that because I absolutely love Magnezone. But there's no reason or no desire in me to evolve this thing. And then in every game you have to go to a different area of the game, somewhere with magnetism. It's like, why do I want to go out of my way to evolve something I think is decent into something that looks so fucking ugly? I don't. Point. Period. He's number 4. Number 3. Mawile. What the hell is with this thing? It's a very basic design. It's fairly female-esque and kind of small and cute. But then it has a giant fucking mouth hanging off the back of its head. I mean, what the hell? I look at this thing, and I just like, fuck, get the fuck away from me. Don't you dare try and bite me. I do not like this thing at all. It's based off... You know what it's based off? It's based off an ancient Japanese myth of the Futakuchi Onna, which apparently is the story of a woman with a mouth on the back of her head. I mean, that's fucking scary to begin with. I don't want that thing anywhere near me. Now, I can understand if it's just like a very basic mouth, you know, like mouth like this on the back of her head, you know, you don't really notice because her hair's long and like until you get closer and it's like, holy fuck, there's a mouth on the back of her head. But they took that story and just fucking ran with it. Run it over with a bus and created fucking Mawile. They exaggerated the fucking mouth to gigantic proportions, which apparently is actually just its horns turned into a mouth, but yeah, right, Game Freak, like, we're gonna fucking believe that. You just wanted to create a mouth on the back of a Pokemon because of your damn Japanese myths. Whatever. This thing. It's a steel type, for one. How the hell is it a steel type? Its body is not steel. You can barely say its mouth is steel. It looks like a goddamn dark type and would probably be a better typing form. Plus, now with 6th Gen, it's a fairy. How the hell is it a fairy? How is that thing, picture right here, how is that thing a frickin' fairy? I mean, I can understand fairies like being depicted as like magical creatures with a kind of humanoid shape, but that thing, I don't think it's a fairy. Okay, it's based off a myth and you can say that's the basis for fairy Pokemon. I still don't care. I still don't think it's a goddamn fairy. And then when it Mega Evolves, it grows a second one. I mean, like, who decided to fucking explode? Like, they decided when they were looking for Mega Evolutions, they were like, we ran over this Japanese myth once. Let's run over it again with an even bigger truck. And let's give it a second mouth. Because, yeah, the myth, sure, it had a woman with 2 mouths on the back of her head. What the hell? Like, my brain's starting to hurt. I don't want to comprehend this thing any much further than fucking, it's number 3. Number 2. Purr ugly. You know you start off horribly when you name something ugly. And the design it's fucking ugly. It's purr ugly. I mean, it's a fucking It's Garfield the Pokemon with stretch marks and purple. I mean, there's no fucking reason.
It's more gray than purple, but still.
Yeah, whatever. Its evolution, its pre-evolution, is a cool-looking cat.
It has a moon head.
It has a moon head, but it's still a good. It's still a cute enough looking cat to be passable on like somebody who's obsessed with cute Pokemon's team. You know, all the breeders in the game or the Pokemon fan club people in the fan club in the game. It's cute enough for them, but then you're like, okay, I want to evolve this thing. I want to see what it turns into. There you go, purr ugly. It's like, huh? I know cats are supposed to get bigger as they grow up, but why would you evolve it into such a fucking fat, ugly cat? I mean, even Garfield, I mentioned earlier, take a look at this thing and it would be like, maybe I need to work out more because I don't want to turn into that fucking thing. He'll take a week off eating lasagna just so he doesn't look like that fucking thing. I'm like, why? Why, Game Freak? Maybe it's just a translation error. I don't know what its Japanese name is, but maybe it's just a translation error that called it purr ugly. I don't know Nintendo America versus Nintendo Japan, however they communicate, but just the design, so fuck ugly. It's just like, I don't want this Pokemon. I look at it and I'm like, fucking Wonder trade it away. Maybe somebody else will want it. I'm not a cat person, but I don't want this fucking cat. Give me a Lipard. Give me a fucking even a Meowth or Persian. Give me those cats. If you give me a purr ugly, I'm just gonna throw it back in your face and be like, here, what the fuck were you thinking? But, yeah, there's still one more to go, and I have the biggest rant for this one coming. So, number 1, Solosis, Duosion, and Ranculus. I hate this whole line. Starting with Solosis. It's a... What the fuck is it? It's a cell. You know, those little things that are a building block of life in our bodies. Like, we have millions of them. They're always constantly dying and being born and dying and being born. Why would you base a Pokemon off a cell? Like, it's not living. Why would you give it a face? And that's all they did. That's so lazy. They just slapped eyes on a mouth on a cell, and we're like, hey, it's a new fucking Pokemon. We don't care. But oh my god. And then it evolves into a goddamn fetus. Like a fetus living in a cell membrane. Like, huh? I know I assume it's to like natural growth of like a child growing up from a cell, I guess. But why does the Pokemon world need a Pokemon like that? Why is it a psychic type? You can barely make the argument that it has a psychic energy barrier around it. But most psychic Pokemon don't keep their barrier up 24/7 or live inside of it. And then just Ranculus, they just gave it hands. That's all they fucking did. They took Duosion, which was already a fetus, and then they're like, oh, let's give the fucking fetus some hands and some arms that aren't even completely attached to its body. Like the arms are in fucking segments. Like, huh? What the hell? Game Freak, what the hell? I don't even know what the fucking names mean. I don't want to know what the names mean. I assume they mean something fucking ridiculous. That's probably not actually a word, just an amalgamation of words that mean, what the fuck, my brain hurts. Ugh. Every time I look at this fucking thing right here, whichever one of them actually shows up on screen, I look and be like, I'm sorry for that trainer having to deal with this fucking Pokemon. It's so under-designed and yet still badly designed. It's just, I could go for I could go on forever repeating the same goddamn things over and over again on how much this should not be a Pokemon. The only thing I can compare it to is in Pokemon Uranium, the Pokemon that took a substitute doll and made it into a living Pokemon and was like, Pokemon trainers are horrible. That's the only thing I can reference really on how, what I think of Solus, Duosion, and Runkills. They are just plain fucking awful designs. I want to claw something. I want to claw its fucking eyes out. But there you go. That's my list. Top 12 worst Pokemon designs. Do you have a design you think is worse than this top 12? Tell me in the comments down below. Because, sure, why not? Opinions. I don't really care about yours. But, as always, like, comment, subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed this top 10. I hope you enjoy my playthroughs of whatever. And until next time, keep it weird.